He's like the most famous
Stephen
Indian
Place
in the
says
world.
what's
Right?
up.
What?
Stephen Place says what's up.
He's a good dude, man. You ever met him?
I've never met. We've never met in person, but you know, we talk.
When I went down to Florida, he's actually from the area that I always go to. But he lives in Alabama. He drove.
He told me he
Yo.
lives in Alabama.
Yeah, he drove 2 hours to like come take me out in his hometown because I was just moved down there for the winter. Him and his wife, and they stayed for like 3 days. At his parents' house, they just took me out, showed me like where to go. And that's pretty nice. It was a 2.5 hour drive, and he didn't know me. Like he knew me from Twitter. That's Southern hospitality.
I guess so, man.
Then
Well,
like,
you're on the East Coast.
then like you know, after a couple days, he's like, hey, I'm going to Mardi Gras for like 2 weeks. You know, like my in-laws live there. Why don't you just come with us?
Yo.
The fuck
We're going live here. Guys, this is obviously Sang Lucci and Kunal, and I'm the Asian Persuasion. Here you go.
All right, well, let's start this off by a cheers here. Thanks for coming out to New York.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I have one very important question to start this whole thing off. Who the fuck lives in Detroit, man? Who lives in Detroit, bro? The only thing I know about Detroit is buying a house for $1
All right.
and M&M
Fair enough.
and shitty car companies.
Kid Rock.
Fucking Kid Rock?
I'm just saying.
Come on. So
I just-
who lives in Detroit? I didn't know there was a lot of Indian people in Detroit either, man.
I live in Detroit.
Well, dude, that's just you though. But who the fuck lives in Detroit?
My parents live in Detroit. Indian people live in Detroit.
That's crazy.
All brown people live in
What
Detroit.
do they
man.
do in Detroit? What do they do?
Man, in the 80s, like when
Software engineer?
the influx of like the Indian invasion came to the U.S.
They went to Jersey.
The Indian invasion came to the
They went
U.S.
to Jersey.
Jersey was like our Ellis Island. Everybody had like a cousin or a third cousin in Jersey.
Exactly.
So like I was born in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Okay, so you
So and we had like a house of like 13 Indians that all came from India, but they were gonna, you know, evaporate somewhere. But that was their Ellis Island.
right.
So all Indians, I mean, as an Indian, you're taught like you're gonna be a doctor
Yes.
or you can be an engineer.
Yes. Which we are not.
We're neither. I mean, my mom still to this day asks me if I'm gonna get an MBA.
My father still wants me to do grad program at MIT.
Yeah, my cousin just got fired from Ford, and my mom's like, "Hey, your cousin Bobby, you know he is doing an MBA at the U of M school, and MBA. You know he's gonna have MBA. You want to maybe do MBA?" I said, "Mom, man, I tried to hire Bobby to work for me,
Exactly.
and and now I'm gonna go to school with them."
Right.
But that's how it goes. So you be a doctor or you're an engineer. So in the 80s, early 80s,
Right.
if you're an engineer, I mean, what's the powerhouse? If you're going to work at GM
Right.
or Ford or Chrysler, I mean, those are like the 3 most powerful
Right.
companies in the U.S. at that time, with million employees worldwide, combined.
Right.
So you got to go to Detroit. That was the spot.
And that was one. So they imported all the Indians to work at it.
All the Indians are working there. And actually, growing up, and really up until about 2000, Michigan had, there was wealth there.
Yeah.
Because if you were in Michigan and you were working for an auto company, you could be like a regular guy, blue-collar guy, high school education, but hard worker. You could work in a factory.
Right.
You're going to be making $50 an hour. You can have full pension.
Right.
You can be retired at maybe 45 years old if you've been working there since you're 18. Make $100,000 a year,
That's true.
and in the factory.
Right.
They're only working, 40 hours a week. So you're gonna have a house, you're gonna have like a cottage, like up north on the lake somewhere. You're gonna have cars. I mean, so even the blue collar people had money.
Right.
So like growing up, like in Michigan, like where we grew up, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody had money. Like everybody's living that not upper class lifestyle, but like an upper middle class,
Right.
solid lifestyle.
Sounds like suburbs in Massachusetts.
Yeah. And then, 2002, 2003 recession comes.
Right.
Everybody finds out that U.S. automakers make crappy cars.
What was Detroit like during that time period?
It was,
was it the picture that they painted on TV?
well, that's
Detroit is the worst fucking place to be.
that's downtown. The one part about Detroit is that Detroit itself is different than a lot of cities because it's not a metropolitan city in terms of like people reside in the urban area.
Right.
and Detroit's always been a suburban sprawl city. So all the car companies were in the different suburbs, and then all the car plants, the auto parts plants were in the suburbs.
Gotcha.
So everybody lived out in the suburbs like 20, 30 miles. So nobody for 50 years has ever lived in downtown Detroit, which is downtrodden, and it's hood. I mean, I have a loft in Detroit that I keep. Yeah, it's next to the casino.
Of course
So,
it
like,
is. Of course.
It's next to the casino, so I
Of
mean,
course.
you know, you don't want to be drinking and driving. So if you're going to casino, you need a place to stay.
What's your game? What's your game?
I play blackjack and poker.
You play poker?
Now I suck at blackjack. So.
Well, nobody's good at blackjack.
Yeah, but
you can't just fucking be good at it.
poker, I'm okay for the first 2 hours, but then like, you know, man, do you get bored playing poker a little bit?
Well, you gotta, that's part of the game, man.
Man,
Do you get bored sitting in front of your computer trading every day? Yes.
No, I don't.
Bullshit.
I do.
Bullshit.
I do.
Tell us how you're surviving in Detroit right now with your trading. Are you crushing it? What's going on?
He wants to get straight to the nitty-gritty.
I know.
say
We've got so many people in here. They want to know, what are you guys cooking up? You guys are the two only shit talker Indian guys on Twitter right now.
I mean,
Let's
to
hear
be
it.
honest though, this is the truth. I mean, now that Vikram Pandit has been fired from Citigroup, and Rajastram is thrown in jail,
Why are you gonna butcher his last name like that, man?
I mean, is Sang Lucci the most powerful trader in New York City that has brown skin? Is that the case? He's the baddest brown man in New York right now.
No, come on. Come on. This is New York, man. This is Queens. There's Curry Hill right up the street, man. Come on.
That's
There's
true.
plenty of Indians. So, to get down to the nitty gritty here,
Yeah.
What's your style? I don't even know what your style of trading is.
Man, you know me all these years.
I
man.
mean, I know what you trade, but I don't particularly know like what stocks you trade and
Yeah.
like, what sectors and all that kind of stuff.
So for me, I mean,
Not that I really give a shit.
I know you don't. I mean, you don't.
Not that I really give a shit.
You're gonna trade your same 4 stocks every day.
That's true.
And bitch and moan
That
when
is
you're
true.
up money and it goes away.
That's true. That is true.
And vice versa. And
Exactly.
I'm gonna do the same exact thing.
FYI,
Pretty
that
much.
happened to me today.
And it happened to me too.
So what's
Simultaneously.
what's your style? What is your
So
What do you teach
personally,
yourselves?
I mean, I'm personally a momentum trader.
Gotcha. I mean, I think we all are to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking like real momentum. And I'll buy up a stock that's 100% up for the day. You know, if I see it move in.
Yeah.
And my whole type of trading is to take small amounts of money
Right.
and make income out of
Gotcha.
it. You know, so I'm not going to trade like a $500,000 account.
So you're always working with like a 5,000 account, $10,000.
No, so I always keep $50,000 in my day trade account. At the end of the month, I always take it out, no matter what.
At the end of the month, you always take it
I
out.
always take it out. I mean, I never go negative for the month, regardless.
You never go negative.
I never go negative for the month.
If you want to call bullshit, please comment.
I'm telling you,
please
man,
comment.
for a whole
I wanna see
month.
it.
For me, well, for what we do, because we're scalpers, day traders, momentum traders, I'll have a bad week.
Right.
But like when I have a bad week, like the people in my charity see, like I'm down 1% on a stock,
Right.
1.5%. I mean, I'm out of it.
Right.
But the thing is, like, because of my account size and the way I trade so fast,
Yeah.
you know, that max loss me like a few $100 sometimes.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've had a string of bad days. I'm down $1,500. So it's not a drawdown.
Right. It's not unmanageable, or it's not.
So like last week I was down, and the week before I was down.
Right.
And so and that was I've had 3 down weeks this whole year,
Right.
and I had 2 back to back. But it wasn't a severe drawdown. I mean, this week I've already made it all back
Right.
because I trade fast, but I trade tight.
Gotcha.
And so
And
that's
do
how
you
it
use-
is.
Do you use hotkeys too? Like, are you in with like one hit of a button and you're out? with-
Hotkeys works on my dash trader.
Yeah.
The hotkeys work really well.
Yeah.
And then on my quote tracker, like the one I showed you, that's like a 1997 platform.
Quote tracker? I've never even heard of this shit.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Quote track is from like the 90s.
It's from the
There you
90s.
go.
But it's sweet because you can have like a sick watch list and it's got all these blinking lights and shit.
Right. So you don't even look at the tape. You just look at the quote. You just look at the bid and ask, the top bid and ask, and
Yeah,
you just
'cause-
look at that moving around, and then
Well,
you go ahead and
Because
run.
all those stocks, like most of them are either on my scans at night.
Yeah,
Like I flip through like 2,000 charts at night.
that's fucking ridiculous.
Yes, I flip through them. I'll have a list.
I would shoot myself.
I have a list of like 20, 30 that I like, and then in the morning I put in all the stocks that are in play. So I've memorized the charts. I already know.
So how long are you up till
I can look through 2,000 charts within an hour.
Within an hour?
Because like, you ever use a
So
telechart?
you're just bang. It looks like shit. Bang. It looks like shit. Bang.
Yeah, because
it looks good.
you ever use telechart?
Hell no.
It's a charting software. So telechart, like, you can make your list, and you just have to hit spacebar to flip through the list. So like, I'll be watching TV or whatever, and my style of trading is just pattern recognition, right? So I'm not, in the beginning, like I'm reading tape during the day,
Right.
but like at night for my watch list, it's just about what has a flag pattern, a base pattern.
What looks like it might do something.
Yeah, so it's just flip, and then you just hit F to flag something that's on your watch list. So it's just, I'm watching TV and it's like that. And before you know it, during commercial, it's,
Can I get some ice?
I'm done. And that's it. Like, I mean, so it doesn't take me long.
Right. I see. And when you're actually in the stocks, I mean, are you in just scalping? Are you taking
not really.
positions over 5 days, 10 days?
No.
Or are you just in and out same day?
For me, a swing trade is usually anything under 5 days. That's a swing trade.
That's a swing trade.
That's a swing trade.
We are very short-term traders.
Yeah, we were very short term. I actually, until 2010, had never day traded. I was a straight up swing trader. Like, you ever see?
Before 2010, you could do that.
I mean, you ever see me say boom, like on Twitter, like my chat room was called the Boom Factory?
Yeah,
Because I routinely,
I deleted you.
I routinely would always go for like 20-30% gains because I was always swing trading.
Right.
And then as our chat room grew and I was sitting at the computer all day, you know, it slowly morphed into more of a day trading type of thing.
Gotcha.
But I didn't want to be a day trader. It's just like
Just kind of happened.
circumstance of being in front of the computer all day.
No, and the environment too. I mean, the market changed a lot, so you kind of.
Market did change a lot.
You kind of have to do that. You kind of have to switch it.
Well, like even this year, like we had 1 month, like in the summer, where the market flushed down about 10-15%.
Yes.
But the rest of the year has been an uptrend.
Yes.
So besides that 1 month, 1 month out of 10 has been in a downtrend, the rest are uptrend.
Right.
And yet it's still pretty hard to swing trade.
I agree.
And so that's really tricky because you look at the charts and you see in the beginning of the year, you see a huge uptrend in the beginning of the year, and then you see 1 month where the market flushes.
Right.
And then really since, you know, July or whatever it's been a steady uptrend.
Right.
And it's still hard to swing trade.
Do you play any options at all?
I don't, man. I tried, man. We used to have a black service.
I heard.
Lady.
Some lady. What's her
Her name was Copper. Actually,
Copper STL.
yeah, real smart lady.
Yeah.
She day trades options. That was actually, we had a big group of people there. Man, I couldn't get my head around. I kept losing. I couldn't do it. I mean, I'm too wild. I'm already a wild boy, but that was big me wild.
Options are fucking wild, man.
Yeah, they're wild.
They're even more wild.
I know. I couldn't do it. I mean, it makes me like a crazy killer. I'm Ted Bundy if I'm
All right, so here's the rub. What's your biggest trade, and what's your biggest loss?
So biggest trade was actually '08 LVS.
Oh, hey, so you bought it at $1? What'd you buy it at? $2?
$250,
Bought it at $250.
$275.
I was in at $3.
And I rode that bad
sell it?
for a while.
Where'd you sell it?
Well, I sold
Where did you sell it?
I sold the first batch.
I sold it at $7.
I sold
it at $7.
I sold the first batch at like $3.
Fucking.
But then I rode up like the last couple thousand shares just like continuously. I just let it roll because I had so much money. But that was actually a big lesson, man. I had like 50,000 shares of Sunrise Assisted Living, SRZ.
Okay.
At like, you know, everything was like pennies in
Right.
2008.
Absolutely.
So I had like 50,000 shares at like 34 cents or whatever.
Right.
And that thing hit like 41 cents, man. I was like, I'm out!
And you're out.
And that thing just got bought out for like $15.
But there was so many stories.
I know.
There was so
I
many
mean, it's
stories.
just, you know, it's really hard to hold that
Yeah.
stuff like when you're like faced with like an onslaught of the world is going to end. And that was some scary shit back in 08.
How much money was it? I mean, how much money did you make on the LBS thing? What's the dollar gain?
Oh man, I probably made 22,000.
So that's your biggest trade.
Yeah, man, I told you, man, I am not
So
like.
this guy is honestly, this guy is a perfect example of a dude that hits the bunts and the singles,
Yeah.
and you know ends up on top.
And percentage-wise, like my average percentage gain last year was 7%. Average
Right.
loss was 2%.
Right.
So percentage gains, I do well, but I don't trade size.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in it just to take
You're in
income.
it just to take income. And that's
Income.
it.
And then also my strategy, I don't believe is that scalable in terms of
Probably not. What was
I don't-
that stock that you were trading today? What was JRC?
JRCC.
I mean, it's
you
not
know.
like you could roll around with 1 million shares in that.
Yeah, like so JRCC, I bought the 460 today, but you're not going to roll with like shares in JRCC, right? You're gonna have a few thousand, a couple thousand,
Right.
and you know it goes up 30 cents. I mean, you made some money,
Right. Right.
but you're not gonna have huge amounts of shares. It's hard to control.
Yo, we got some questions over here. First of all, this dude is asking, is Kunal wearing flip flops?
I am not wearing flip flops today. I actually wear dress shoes because I thought I was gonna need to wear a suit, but I normally would wear flip flops.
And second of all, these guys are asking that they thought that Kunal was going to get me some options, and this is why we're meeting. You guys want to give him a little?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to
Yeah,
that.
we're
So
gonna get to
basically, the brown guys are joining force here, and
Brown guys?
we're all offering, educational classes and everything. I would like for him to try it, at least try it with a couple contracts.
I actually put Tim the sales
Or
guy.
use his money. Use somebody else's.
We put Tim the sales guy. He's been actually taking your classes,
Has he?
and he's been in there.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Did you charge him? You didn't charge him.
Wait. Did we charge him? Wait. Which Tim was this? This Tim?
That's our Tim.
Wait, did you pay?
He did not pay.
Good. That's good.
Okay.
All right.
Nor will I. So, as you guys know, we've been doing the trading boot camps for bulls, which has been a wild success. We are on trading boot camp number 4, and each boot camp we've had has had, a minimum of 20, 22 people. This last one we have 30 people in it, and one of the big things that people are always asking us is, whether we do any options training. And so, Anand being a good friend of mine, if you guys don't know, he's actually not Chinese. His name is not Sang Lucci. His name is Anand Sakababi Babadadidididis. And he's a great option trader. And I actually met him at the conference, at Tim Sykes' conference, and he did a seminar how he made $1.2 million on a Citigroup trade in options.
Right.
And so I was like, boy, for a really short Indian, like the Tom Cruise of Indians, that's like, this guy's like a bad motherfucker. And so, we hit it off actually right off the bat.
Of course.
We hit it right off the bat. Not even being because we're Indians. We were actually just getting along. Yeah. And so, friendship grew, and we actually, it wasn't even until maybe like a month ago, we were just kind of talking about some different stuff, and it kind of evolved from that. And so, we're doing a trading boot camp for options that's going to be just like our stocks, where we have a set group of classes. Then there'll be another month of review classes, and it's going to kind of be like an all-inclusive, really kind of take you from steps A to Z on what this man does. Indeed. And in terms of what this man does, we don't really even know. All we know is that at given points, he makes $150,000 on some Google options, and on his Profitly, it's like. There's this one month where he's like, at $5,000, it goes to $2 million. And nobody knows how the heck that happened, but we know there's one big Citigroup trade in there.
Yeah.
And it's been going up ever since.
Right.
Lucci, give us the rundown of the Citigroup.
Give us the rundown
So
of what happened.
the rundown on the claim to fame, and I'm still looking for this to happen to me again. And by the way, I've passed several more opportunities that I could have done the same thing, but markets change, and you really have to adapt to it, and I just wasn't able to. Until I feel like around now. So that Citigroup trade was during the same time, 2008, everything was bottoming out.
Yes.
And it was the time to buy the dips on things like that. And at that time, it's not a surprise why most of us have our best trades at that time. Because again, there are certain periods of the market where shit is just fucking crazy. It's just crazy, and it's time for you to trade and trade like you never have before, and try some other things. So I had about 90,000 contracts of Citigroup, okay? So 90,000 contracts. Each contract represents 100 shares. So that's 9 million shares of Citigroup, okay? So just imagine yourself having 9 million shares of Citigroup.
And how old were you at the time?
Dude, I was like 24? 24, man. I was young, man, and I was young, and I knew there was something that I needed to do, and this is what it was. I knew I had to swing an option and really put some size into it. So I didn't even know anything about options before I started. I came from a prop firm, so I was trading just like you, scalping in and out, looking at 2,000 different stocks, whatever's hot for the moment. Let's go ahead and take my 10 cents and 20 cents.
Yeah.
That was my strategy. And then all of a sudden, my prop firm just started going to shit. Everybody started losing money. The head traders in my prop firm, they were buying Bear Stearns when it gapped down to 68 that day, and the next day it gapped down to $10, and the next day $2 fucking. So these guys got smoked, absolutely smoked, and they took all their firm capital away from us so that we couldn't have any leverage or trade the way we wanted to trade. So they took it all away from me. I was like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here. I'm taking all my money, I'm leaving, and I'm going to try to do this myself. So I had 90,000 contracts of Citigroup, and this cost me about $250,000. And within the course of like a couple weeks, the option went from 4 cents, which was my cost. Option went from 4 cents to about 42 cents.
Woo!
Right? And I
That's
sold.
10,000%.
I sold all the way up. So I sold 9 cents, 15, 20, 30, 40, everywhere, all the way up. Had I held for another day, it went to like 84 or some shit.
Oh, so you're talking about like Lambo. You be driving around Lambo.
So I ended up booking like a good mil, 1.2 mil on that trade, and then from then on, I just had the account size to do whatever the hell I wanted, and it was easy for me to just extract profits here and there. But then I got too cocky, and the market does that to you. They smack the shit out of you when you get like that. And I took a $300,000, $400,000 loss in a day, in one day, and I was actually up $120,000 in the position. So I was up $120,000, didn't take it because I'm like, dude, I want a fucking million on this thing. And
over it again.
And I ended up losing $400,000. And I sat in front of the screen for hours. Hours. I just sat there and looked at the loss, and I was like, what? Who does this? You know what I mean?
Crazy person. A crazy person. Somebody that has a little man's complex.
A crazy person.
Somebody that has grown up in the streets of Boston.
So that's what happened. That's the claim to fame. I mean, and that's the same time that I made my biggest trade and my biggest loser. And then from there, I quit. After that loss I quit. I shut down and I bounced. I left the whole game. I shut it off. I had my nice apartment in Boston. I didn't do shit for a year except travel and
hit the beach.
And
this guy went to Trinidad
and
forever.
Talk to a lot of women and all that kind of stuff. And that was it.
You love white women.
I do not love white women. I can't find the attraction yet. There are fine white women, but I need some color. I need.
You like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans.
I'm off that too. I'm off that too.
So you had a face.
I had a face. Of course I had a face.
You had a face. So you're back on the Indian girls.
Kind of, actually.
See, I will not date Indian girls.
Well, that's because they don't like you.
No, Indian girls love me because
They
I'm
don't like you.
First of all, I'm like 6'2", man. I could be in Bollywood. Yes, I could. I could be in Bollywood. I could be in Bollywood, man. And you look at it, I'm just sitting over you. I'm towering over you. Towering over you. But I don't like Indian women, man. There's something about like
They don't like you. It's because they don't like you.
No, man. I think part of it is maybe that I swear too much. The other part is that
we're different. We are very different. In terms of the Indian brand and the male brand.
I'm like the baddest Indian around, so it's like, you get groupies with Indian people because they don't see any Indian people that are like not engineers, that don't have mustaches, that like will drive like cool cars.
And have accents that sound like they've been smoking cigarettes for the last 30 years.
Yeah, so you're gonna get groupies if you do that, man. That's how Indian people are, man. There's no such thing as like an Indian bad boy, but you might be the closest thing to it.
Oh, somebody's talking smack about Kunal still living with his mom.
Alright, so there you go. The boy still lives with his mom. But you know what? To his defense, brown men do this.
That's
and
right.
we do not separate.
And in my
from our
defense,
parents. We don't separate from
due to the Michigan economy, my parents live with me. But I mean, they still own. I mean, I pay for the house, but it's their house.
Right.
I mean, obviously, no Indian boy is gonna go into his mom's house and
again,
say it's my house. But my parents moved in with me due to economic factors.
Right.
But then it became comfortable, and I don't think I can ever get rid of it.
Well, to the credit of the brown man, they will always, no matter what, even if they move out, the parents go with them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of where we're at.
That's it. That's part of the culture. So that's not a white people thing saying, oh, you still live in your mother's house or whatever. That's not that. It's a cultural thing. where you take care of your parents go with you. They go with you wherever you are. And if you do well, half of your shit goes to your parents.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how.
By the way, I gave half of my shit to my father. And he is retired, sitting on his ass, working out for 4 hours a day, and staring at fucking trees.
Yeah. My mom hasn't worked since she was 40 years old. As soon as I graduated college, and I was a door-to-door salesman selling phone service.
You see?
And my mom goes,
what Indian guy does door-to-door fucking sales? Imagine a brown guy opening up a fucking door in a suburb, like, yo, get the fuck off my steps right
from SBC, motherfuckers. But I was selling door-to-door phone service, and my mom's like, oh, my son's a marketing manager, phone products. And she just quit her job.
And she quit her job.
She was like, I took care of you the first 20 years. I took a while in college. 23 and a half years.
Right.
Now, the next 23 and a half
I took a while in college. What, 6.5 years? That's what you took?
I graduated when I was 23.
All right.
I did a little year and, some change.
All right.
Lucia, we got some questions here asking. They want a lot of information in here, but why don't you just give them a little teaser on like what do you do? Do you just go along these things? Do you write? Like what are these? What are some secrets here?
Let's go back to some actual trading. Can we do that?
Yeah.
You want to do that? So what do? I go again for the momentum, but I only trade the large cap stocks that have a lot of volume in the options. So the Googles, the Apples, any of the financials, the SPY.
Visa, MasterCard,
Priceline, all the shit that moves and is priced very high, so $600 stocks, $200 stocks, all that stuff, because the options move quite a lot, and especially the weeklies now that came out, you can make 100%, 50% on your trade within hours. Today we traded Amazon long. Today we made 50% on the actual.
So now I'm newer to the options game. This weekly stuff is new.
This weekly stuff is new. 2010 they announced the weeklies. So now options have an expiration of only 7 days. The weekly options that come out. So they come out on Thursday for the following Friday expiration. So they only have a lifespan of 7 days. The monthly options are still the same, and those are open for like 9 months. But the weeklies, there's so much volatility.
So the weekly's got a lot of movement. Because back in the day, or even a few years ago, you'd have to be like, all right, it's May, and I got to get August contracts
Exactly.
for this strike price.
Exactly. So what used to take 2 weeks or 3 weeks to happen in terms of a move, like for Bank of America or Google to move 10 points, to move 10 points, 20 points, it would take 3 weeks. But now it's in a day, 1 day. 1 day, Google will do nothing for 5 days, or Priceline will do nothing for 5 days, and then you'll have a 20 point drop or a 20 point drop. And the same thing with Apple, and the same thing with all these other stuff. So now it's the time frames are a lot smaller, and you got to be a lot quicker than.
You find that you're making more money with the weeklies than you were the monthlies, or are you just having more fun?
You're making more money, but you're also losing more too. So
you're having more fun.
To his point, you're fucking having
You're having a good time.
You're having a great time. That's basically what you do.
What kind of gains are we looking at? Are we talking about like $1 to $1.20? Or are we talking about?
Yeah, the leverage of options, so Google moves, 10 points. So the trader like me, if I bought Google, I would have 30 shares. Okay?
Broke ass motherfucker.
I would have 30 shares. Give or take, if it was a tight stop, maybe I'd have 40 shares. I don't know. And
that is pathetic.
Yeah. And so obviously if it moves $10, it's really not,
It's not gonna say, okay, so here's the main difference.
What kind of mojo do you give with the options?
His piddly 30 shares is gonna cost him 60 grand, 70 grand, whatever the hell it costs him. Obviously more than the 50,000 you keep.
$30 times 700 is actually what, 21,000?
Whatever, man, whatever. So the point is if
you're
you're
saying it's not
your whole
75.
size, your $50,000 contract or your account size, right? Let's say you could get 100 shares, right? And you make 10 points on that, you make $1,000 off 10 shares. And $1,000 from a $50,000 investment, to me, that's a little slow.
Yes.
It's a little slow. But you take a weekly option on, let's say, a Thursday or a Friday or Wednesday or whatever, and you buy it at, let's say, $2, and it makes that same 10-point move, you're going to be selling it at $6 and $7. So imagine, and again, this is kind of an extreme example. You put your $50,000 into your $2 option, and you end up with so me being the crazy guy that I was back in the prop firm, and I was the craziest dude there.
Yes.
I always was looking for, okay, where's the biggest profits? Where's the biggest money here? Where's the largest percentage gain I could get? And naturally, I gravitated towards the weekly option. Now, obviously, with that $50,000 investment, if you put it all in a Google option and you're a fucking idiot, you're going to lose all of it, which is
You could lose it all.
which is not a smart thing to do.
If you're an options trader, then you're going to get out before it gets there.
You're an options trader.
Like any
you
trader.
read tape, and this is one of the things that we teach in our classes, and one of the most important parts of our strategy is that we are tape readers. We analyze tape, we analyze dark pools, we analyze hedge funds, institutions. What do they look like on the tape, so that you can see what the hell is going on and expect a large move or expect to get the hell out because these guys are getting out of their positions as well. So it's all about the tape. A majority of our strategy is predicated on being able to read the tape well. Not just read it and look at fucking bid and ask, but read it well, analyze it, and understand what the hell is going on.
Now, in terms of tape, though, with high-frequency traders, algorithms, all this, has the tape changed? Because, one of the reasons, like I was telling you, I only started day trading about 2010. I was actually swing trading large cap stocks before that.
Okay.
And one of the reasons I liked starting to day trade small cap stocks was, well, number one, at that time now, 2009, 2010, everything was a small cap, because even the large cap stocks,
Right.
U.S. Steel or
Right.
Cenex was, I was trading Cenex at $1. So even large cap stocks were.
They do cement, right? CX, they do cement?
No, it's SCENX.
CENX.
Cenex Aluminum.
Okay.
So all these stocks were $1. So everything was a small cap at that time anyway, so that kind of fit in with what I was doing regardless.
Right.
But
Right.
as the prices appreciated and these HFTs came around,
Right.
I was glad to have stayed in the small caps.
Right. Because
For
they
the-
weren't as affected as...
They were easier to read, because I also have been trading a long time and not classically trained in finance via university or anything like that.
Right.
I also
University.
I don't know. Where do people learn this stuff? So I also, was always reading tape.
Yeah.
And you can feel, sometimes when you're really on
You can
fire,
feel it.
you can feel it.
Yes, yes.
Today in the morning, man, I'm talking to him, I'm like, I ain't even looking at charts, man. It was like, when you know, you know. You literally watch the ticker and see the volume flow in and the bid and ask, and you don't even have to bring up level 2s and all this stuff. You can literally watch the ticker and kind of figure out what's happening. But that changed with these high frequency traders and the algorithms.
It did.
So how does that affect your tape
So
reading?
here's the gist of the whole thing. 2007 was when they banned the uptick rule. 2007 was when they took out the uptick rule. Before the uptick rule, all size that you saw on the tape was fucking real. So if you saw a 10,000 share seller that that came up on the offer and slowly dropped down his offer price, that shit was real.
That's a real guy.
It was a real guy. It was somebody that said, yo, I got 10,000 shares to sell, and here's where the fuck I want to sell it. Once the hybrid market kicked in, and for those of you guys who don't know what that is, the hybrid market was, the NYSE was the first to adopt it, and they were like, okay, we're going to allow computer trading, and we're going to allow computer market makers instead of all this human trading. So now they do a hybrid system where they have both. And that just gave birth to all this crazy computer action algorithm and all this kind of stuff to take advantage of, arbitrage situations.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell you're looking at in the tape. And that has caused a huge change. So now when you see a 10,000 share seller, it could be fake. It could be just some dude that says, you know what? I want to pick up 100,000 shares of this stock, and I want to pick it up lower. So I'm going to scare the shit out of everybody, and I'm going to put 100,000 shares to sell, and all these buyers and everybody who's in this stock is going to be like, holy shit. I have to, that's it. I'm selling out of my position. I'm done. I'm done with this. And price drops. He builds his position. He yanks that offer, and his stock goes right back up.
And you actually see that, you still see that to this day.
You do.
We were in that stock, what was it yesterday? JRCC. There was a legitimate seller there, hundreds of thousands of shares sitting parked at 460.
Yeah.
And he didn't show his whole size, but you could tell, because the stock was sitting there literally for an hour, and it was eating the ass.
Right.
So, you still knew that there was a seller, because
Right.
it wasn't like it was going back and forth. The people were eating the ass. They wanted to break the stock out.
Right.
And this motherfucker, he pulled his offer
Right.
for just 1 second.
1 second.
And so the stock spiked up 3 cents, so everybody bought the breakout.
And he dumps it.
And then he dumped the whole thing on it. And it broke it down to about 452, 453.
Right.
And you couldn't see it on the bid and X.
Exactly.
You could see it on the level 2. I mean, if you were a trader, you could feel it.
Right.
And you could tell because it's like 5,000 shares, 2,000 share blocks were eating the ass.
Right.
And for an hour it's not moving, it's like, that means there's a seller there, obviously.
Exactly.
Where most people wouldn't know that.
Right.
The guy was really clever because, you know, he could have kept that going for a while.
Exactly.
He lifted it,
Yeah.
everybody bought the breakout.
Everybody buys it.
And at 462, he got a better price.
Right.
And everybody's buying that breakout, he just goes,
So this happened, guys. If you don't understand anything that we're talking about right now, then that means like you don't know how stocks move these days. These are how stocks move these days because of manipulation, because of larger funds that want to get into a position or they want to get out of a position. You know, if a large institution wants to sell 1 million shares, they don't fucking do it themselves. It's not like they sell 1 million shares in the market.
no.
They call up Mr. Order Execution Algo down the street in New York, and they say, yo, we got 1 million shares we want to buy, and we want to buy it from 45 to 45 and a half. You figure out how the fuck you're going to do that, and the Order Execution Algo says, all right, let's manipulate the price down to a certain consolidation level, build this position, screw everybody out short and long so we can build this position, and in the process, you know,
They break the stock out.
they break the stock out half. All right, and that's what fake outs. That's what this new term here called fake outs. You know, you'll hear often. So a stock like fucking Win or LVS or Goldman Sachs, they will go to a breakout level 10 or 12 times and fake everybody out into buying at that level, and then crash the stock completely. And you guys end up. What do you guys end up doing? You guys end up buying high prices, or you guys end up buying high prices on call options, put options, or whatever. And then that sentiment washes out, and your put option or call option dumps 50%, and you end up taking it.
And that's a big problem for everybody. I mean, from doing our boot camps and just different classes, we've had hundreds of traders come in.
Yeah.
And buying fake breakouts is like the number one loser.
Number one loser.
Because most people, what they do is they see a stock and they just draw a horizontal line.
They say, oh, you know, I think it's going to go here. And
You draw the horizontal line, and that's the breakout. And the thing is, the breakout is never on the daily chart. When you draw a horizontal line across the chart, if it's, you know, resistance is 47, the breakout is really never 47. The real breakout could be 46.50.
Right.
I mean, there's different ways of
Right.
gauging the breakout. The real breakout could always starts way earlier than everybody
A
realizes.
lot earlier.
Because the real pros, they don't just draw a horizontal line on a chart and make it a flat top breakout.
Right.
I mean, there are different lines, but then also what's happening intraday within the scenes in terms of the tape. You know, people building up shares, buyers. I mean, somebody's making a position. There's hidden buyers everywhere, and that's where the breakouts start. And they're never at the level that you're taught, where you just draw a horizontal line and say that's it.
Right, and it's a collection of things that are going on. It's market forces. It's sector forces. It's you know, it's all kinds of stuff that are going on to add to, okay, where is that real breakout going to happen? And that's another thing that we do extensive lessons on in our class. The timing and what is a fake out, why is it put there, so you understand what it looks like. And when you look at it, it might save you from making a bad decision at a breakout solution. You know, and that's one of the main things we do talk about in the class.
Well, that's like the most frustrating thing of traders anyways, because it's not even the big losses that get you. I mean, it's just like, you know, you taking 1% losses on all these fake breakouts. They start adding up. You add in commissions and
pretty
all
soon
stuff.
you're in 8 times and you played the same damn trade and it hasn't worked. That 9th time, it's going to work. You're not in there. Why? Because you've gotten so pissed off that you've
And you're
lost
done.
8 times and you say, fuck this, I'm going to drink some rum instead.
And I'm a revenge trader. I don't know about you, but I do revenge trades.
All
the
Indians
time.
are revenge traders.
I'm
All
a
of
revenge
them.
trader, and so like I lose at a trade, and like I feel like I gotta do it back. Like it's go time. Like I'm not a quitter. I'm a winner. I can do this. I'm like, somebody give me a pep talk, please. Like tell me I have hair on my head. Like come on, tell me something.
chop market. Is there a strategy for chop markets and all that?
There is a strategy, and one of the biggest strategies is, guess what? Don't fucking trade it. That's one of the biggest strategies. Two, if you are going to trade it, take your profits and losses much quicker than you would if we're in a trending market where you can hold overnight and you generally know what's going to happen. Just take your shit quicker. And I actually am still learning this, and we are all, you know, we're not all 100% of this. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we do well. Whatever. If we end up adapting to a market that is changing, great. If we don't and we're too late, we have some work to do, and that's it. You know, that's the life of a trader.
And choppy markets are tricky. I mean, in reality, markets do two things. They're either trending or they're consolidating. And you can have an uptrend or a downtrend, and those are both easy to trade. Uptrend or downtrend, at least that's a trend. And like for people like me that are momentum traders, all you need is one or the other. But if you're in consolidation phase, that's where you get the market that's choppy, but the tricks that you use during momentum phases, when you're trending either up or down, don't work. Because when you're going up or down, you have a trend, you're buying breakouts, breakdowns, that type of thing.
Right.
But when you're in a consolidation phase, which is, you know, it could be a distribution phase or an accumulation phase, but you're still going sideways.
Right.
What typically happens is the breakouts and breakdowns don't work, but what I've seen is that the reversion to the mean trades end up being better.
Right.
So instead of buying breakouts, you're buying pullbacks and then selling at the breakout.
Exactly. You're dip buying and you're selling
And
at
so
breakouts.
you treat stocks like a box almost, like you're buying at the bottom of the box, selling at the top.
Yeah.
Where in a trending up phase, you would buy the top of the box as a breakout.
Right.
But so you have to,
Right.
you know what to do.
Right.
Because it's a reversion to the mean trade, and you know that's what you have to do. But you're so trained on buying breakouts,
Exactly.
buying breakdowns, and
Exactly.
you've been doing it for so many. I made 14,000 day trades last year.
14,000?
So it's
That's
like,
fucking nothing, bro.
I know. I mean, but like when you have like a habit, that's what you do.
Step your game up, man.
And so like you know, like the textbook says of like my Bulls method, like accumulation phase, distribution phase is like a sideways consolidation phase. So you're trading reversion to the mean.
Right.
But it takes you a few days to figure it out.
Figure it out, yeah.
Because you don't know that a distribution phase has started
Right.
till you see more evidence. Like you see evidence of it, and so that puts you on alert. But you don't have confirmation that it's happening yet.
Right.
And oftentimes you don't have confirmation till it's actually too late.
Until it's too late. And that's the perfect
And that's
example.
what sucks.
That's a perfect example of what's going on. If you take a look at stocks like Amazon, Win, whatever, and that stocks that have been in consolidation, the smartest play was to buy when nobody wants to buy and short when nobody wants to short. But try to do that yourself. You have no conviction at those areas to buy when nobody wants to buy. There's a reason why nobody wants to fucking buy, because it doesn't look like I want to fucking buy it. So you're not going to do that.
Is there a way to win in options when it's choppy?
Yes, absolutely. Stephen Place, if he's still here, his tall 6'7", I eat 2.5 chicken breasts for lunch.
He's a beast, man. He's like 6'6" and like 260 pounds.
Yeah, so all you gotta do is write. All you have to do is write. 90% of the time when you write contracts, you're gonna end up on top of the game. The problem is that 10%, that 1 out of 10 times, you are going to get fucking smoked if you don't actually watch your stock or you don't watch your option. But during those consolidation periods, you want to sell those strikes that are high. You want to sell those call options when a stock looks like it's going to break out, and you want to sell the put options when the stock it looks like it's going to break down. It's in a consolidation period, so you're going to get the best premiums at those levels, and all you got to do is wait it out until they expire.
Don't give them too much now. Don't give them too much.
I'm not giving them too
We want
much.
them to
This
come
is
in
common
for-
knowledge. This is common knowledge. And if you want to do spreads to mitigate some of your risk, you can do that as well. But realize you're going to do it 9 times. There's going to be fake outs 9 times. And that 10th time, when that stock breaks out, you're going to be short those calls. And your ass is going to be like, well, it's coming back. It's coming back.
So essentially what you're saying is you do the exact opposite of what you want to do.
Exact opposite.
It's opposite day. That's what I was telling Tim. I'm like, Tim, man, last week, if I did the exact opposite of everything I wanted to do, I just shorted when I wanted to buy,
Right.
fuck, man, I would have been up so much money.
Right. And it's not a coincidence that both of us, with 2 completely different strategies, are talking about the same things. I don't do anything that he does, and he doesn't do anything that I do.
I ain't never
But
seen
if you're a trader and you understand price action, you understand how markets move, all traders have to deal with the same fucking issues. Whether you're trading options, stocks, futures, whatever the hell it is, these dynamics happen to all of us. And the best traders are the ones that understand what they're looking at and can walk away from a trade, if it doesn't look like, if it doesn't look like the best situation. So, questions. We're running out of shit to say. I can talk shit.
Everybody's talking shit about how Kunal is afraid to take his drink right now. Is what he says. People are saying you're babysitting that drink.
All right. Well, listen. He doesn't drink rum. He drinks whiskey, right? You drink whiskey?
Yeah, man, I'm a Midwest boy, man. I drink Miller Lights.
You see what I'm saying? This is why nobody goes to fucking Detroit.
I'm just saying, man.
This is why nobody.
I'm a country boy, man.
So give us a quick summary, guys. What's exactly going on? So Sang Lucci is going to be now featured on Bulls on Wall Street.
Right. So we are now featured on Bulls on Wall Street.
So you're gonna have your own business, your own site, like you always have.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
For Bulls, I mean, we're mostly, we're an education company.
Right.
And, you are going to be the instructor for options education, but, it's your own strategy and your own stuff, and you'll have your own chat room on your own site. But, I'm an education company. I need somebody to teach options. I mean, people ask me about it. Options are just as big as stocks. Just as all, currencies are just as bigger than all of them. And nobody talks about currency. You know what I mean? If I found a great currency trader, I mean, I'd have, Tim, the sales guy below him to get him.
Whoa.
Anything for sale, Tim.
If he found a good currency trader, he'd be locked up like Raj for
He
some
would.
damn currency.
I mean, there's no such thing, is there?
There is nowadays. That's the only way to me to make money in Forex and currency.
You gotta
To
inside
me, you
information.
have to know something. You have to know something.
It's
To
all
me,
gas. It's all gas. There's no
fucking
way you can do
way. And understand, like, both of us have been in the market for a while. So all the ideas that you've gotten pitched, and I'm sure all of you watching this fucking webinar have gotten pitched on trading futures,
Everything.
whatever, currency, options, shorting options, long options, breakout shit, penny stock stuff, you want to pump stocks, whatever. Like, I'm sure you guys have all gone through all of that, but at some point, you need to choose what it is that you want to do and do it fucking better than other people. Like, you need to do it well, and that's just your goal, that's just your game. And I've tried it all. I've tried futures, I've tried Forex, I tried it all. I tried options, I tried your shit.
My mentor, back in like 04, 05, was actually an Indian guy. He was Sardarji. Punjabi guy. Punjabi guy, actually a lawyer. He owned the website Market Speculator, Blogspot. His name was Paul Singh. I actually never met him face to face, but I imagine he had a turban and a mustache. And,
He's single. He's a single.
yeah, I mean, ate really buttery, thick food. But, he gave me a real good lesson. Because, I, at that time, before I came to him, and I always leave weird comments on his blog just about the charts, asking questions. And so, he's coming back, and then, I asked him, if he could teach me a couple things. Because I was actually a really, really good stock picker.
Okay.
Like, I had an innate, knowledge of knowing what's going to break out.
When stock picking used to matter.
But I didn't really know what to do with it after it broke out. It could go up 30%, and I could end up with a loss. I was a bad trader. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I was a great stock picker. I mean, I could look at the stock and be like, that shit's about to go next week.
Yeah.
But then what happens after? Or the one time, it doesn't go, you end up with a 30% loss because you don't know what to do when a stock goes against you.
Have no idea.
So there's two things. I mean, there's a stock picking skill,
Right.
and then there's a trading skill. But the beauty is if you're not like a good stock picker and you don't have an innate talent for it,
Right.
trading is, you can learn it because it's rule-based. You have rules. Right? You sell at this, you sell under this type of support, you buy when you see this. It's like building a recipe for a cake. You see this, it's a list of conditions you see.
By the way,
You
he
trade.
split out this cake recipe bullshit on me when we were trying to figure out our options teaching plan. He said, yo, listen, this is like building a cake.
Yeah.
First you need your equipment, and then you need your batter, and then you need this. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't build.
This
I don't
guy
make cakes. I make money. I make
This guy,
money.
man, I'm talking to him, he's got his Coogie sweater on, all Notorious B.I.G., and I'm like, so what do you do? 150 G's on these Google apps. And I say, well, how do you do it? Like, what's your setup?
Right.
It's like,
We did it for him.
I'm reading a tape. And it's like, what does that mean?
We understood his advice, and we tailored the object program to give you a fucking.
So like he was making fun of me, and I was making fun of him because like from doing classes, like I realized that you have to give people like a certain like list of things you need to see, and he's very good at natural trader.
Yes.
And so like to take what's in his brain and make it into something that's learnable for the average person.
Right.
I mean, that takes a little bit of work, but it's like,
And it's
he's
the
like,
same
what are you
problem.
talking about? Like, and I first had lost him, and he's like, what are you talking about with this cake stuff? What's this cake? He's like, I don't even eat cake. And I'm like, I'm not talking about eating a cake. Like, I'm talking about like building a cake, like a recipe.
Right.
And
So we ended up putting it in the in the profile, and we have a nice cake recipe.
there's a cake recipe for
There's a
everything.
cake recipe for everything, but that was an interesting point you brought up. That goes with a lot of the algorithms that you see out here. They're trying to take the mind of a trader like myself and build a computer program around it. And this is what kids who have engineering degrees, who have degrees that we should have gotten, this is what they are doing. They are being employed by HFT guys, or guys who want to create an algorithm, and they are sitting there and talking to the mind of a trader, or the mindset of a trader, and trying to program those aspects. So it's not a coincidence that oftentimes you want to buy breakouts and everything, like the human behavior aspect comes into it a lot, and the psychology comes into it a lot. And those algorithms play off your same psychology. Yo, I want to buy this here. Or, yo, I want to sell this here. Or Google's going to have earnings, man. This shit's going to be fucking great. Pre-announced today, and the stock drops 70 points, and you guys all lose your fucking ass. It's not a coincidence. None of this shit is a coincidence. And those are one of the things that we try to teach you in the class. We just try to teach you what the fuck is going on here and how stocks move. And that's it.
We've got a couple people here asking about, how long does it take to be profitable? Somebody says 5 years. You got somebody who says 10.
All right, that's a great question. I'll give you my example. Kunal will give his. We all have experienced different traders doing different things. For me, it took about a year and 2 months before I made my first check. Right, I was at this prop firm, and all I was doing was scalping, and I was like making $50 a day. And trying to do it every single day.
But feeling good.
And come up with a check. But I thought it was cool because everybody was young in there and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And at the time, the uptick rule was still there. So the market was completely different. It took me a while to learn just because I didn't really have the personality for it. I didn't develop the right personality for it. And until I realized money doesn't matter. The amount of money that you make on a trade or the amount of money that you lose on a trade, it doesn't fucking matter. Until I realized that, and really realized it and encompassed it, I didn't make any money. I didn't make any money because there was a pride factor. Like, why did I lose money? Why this? Why this? Everybody wants to know why.
New traders always trade P&Ls, not
Exactly.
charts.
Everybody wants to know why, and everybody wants to know that you can make $50 a day, or can I make $1,000 a day, or can I make this a day? It doesn't work like that. The system it doesn't work like that. If there's no trades to make, you shouldn't be fucking trading. So it took me a while to figure that out. Once I figured that out, I was making a good $10,000, $20,000 a month, and things were great. But I was that kind of greedy kid that just wanted more, and I knew I could get more, especially in the market environment I was in 2008. I was like, yeah, this is not enough. This is not enough. I got a child. I got bills, man. I got all kinds of shit, man. I gotta make more. I have to make more. So I took that extra level. But they usually say it takes 6 months to become profitable, and that all depends on your psychology. If you were meant for the game, if you're not meant to be a risk taker, that's it. It's a wrap for you. It's a wrap for you.
Yeah, but don't you find like a lot of the people you find like that blow up their accounts? I talked to hundreds of traders over last year that blow up their accounts. They're risk traders.
They're risk traders, but
they're risky people. They're risky people. But they blow up their accounts because they don't even care.
True.
I mean, I know guys that have like nothing in their bank. I mean, they may be divorced. They could lose their house. And they're risk traders, and they will blow up their account and not even think twice about it. So having the mentality of have the balls to risk money, I don't know, man. seems like too broad. Like it's like, oh, the guy with the biggest balls makes money.
It's not true.
I don't know if that works in the stall market.
He's a perfect example of the fact that the case where it's not the guy with the biggest balls that makes money.
Yeah,
it's the guy. It's the guy that can come up to bat, hit a bunt, get on base every single time.
And you know, that started from when I was in college. You know, I had $500. I turned into almost $50,000.
That's sick.
That
is sick.
But it was the .com boom, man. I was trading Yahoo's, Amazon.
True,
It's
but that's still sick. So in terms of percentage gains,
yeah, it was
you
sick.
beat me way out of the
and then like once I had like $5,000, I had like basically 10 accounts of $500 in them and like I just flipping them all around, like so I could get around the pattern day trade rule.
Right.
I'd just be all over the place, and I built it up, and then I lost it all. I lost every penny of it.
And that's because of the psychology behind it.
That was the risk taking. I had balls. I mean, I had a ton of balls.
What do you got?
Somebody else said bring out the next box. So we
And
brought out the other box.
I actually had built it back up again. I borrowed $2,000 for my student loans, built it back up again. I lost it all again in the telecom.
Yo, do not drink all that. We've got subscribers and people asking questions.
Kunal has a boot camp to teach tonight, and some of his students are watching this right now.
Yes.
Yes.
So just to sort of bring it together here, we got another question here. What is your biggest challenge as a trader for either of you guys? You know, what is the biggest challenge?
I'll tell you, my biggest challenge for a trader is actually giving back profits. It's actually giving back profits. I don't know about you, but it's like sometimes you can be up like, I mean, for me, like if I was up like say $2,000 in a day, that would be like 30,000 for you or whatever. But like for me, like even if you're up 2,000, it doesn't really feel that good.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't because at the end of the day, you're always analyzing. Okay, what the fuck happened? And could I have made more? Yes, always. Could I have done better with my entries and exits? Yes, always.
And so, like, you always gotta trade more. Like, what did I tell you guys in the morning? After I hit, like, my first I hit 4 trades in a row, basically, in my chat room in the morning. I'm like, I'm done for the day. And it was like 9:46.
Bullshit.
And then, what happened? Like, you know, like, I sat around for an hour. I'm like, I'm done for the day. I'm done for the day. And then it's like, no, man, I'm gonna really go for it. And then before you know, like, you have a couple off trades, and your awesome day turned into a good day.
Right.
But now you're not happy with your good day.
Right.
And so, like, you want your good day to go back to the awesome day, and you're like, I'll stop if I get back to where I was.
Right.
And then that good day becomes, like, less than a good day.
Right.
And I have a lot of trouble with that because I always start off hot in the morning.
Always.
And so, like, for a while, like, what we were doing in our chat room was, like, they would force me to, like, go to the gym. They're like, Kunal, you should go to the gym. It's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, same thing with me.
Like, go to the gym. And it's like, why? You guys try to get rid of it? Like, go to the beach, go to the gym. So I literally did that, like, when I was in Florida.
Yeah.
I would go to the beach from, like, 1 to 3.
Right.
Because, like, and people, they would encourage me to do it.
Every
Because
single day.
I'm always hot in the morning. No matter what,
Exactly.
like, if there's 2
Because,
other business days,
sorry,
I'm hot 100.
the only reason is because shit is moving in the fucking morning. Shit is moving in the morning, and therefore we are hot. So it's not because we have the golden touch at 9:30 in the fucking
Nah,
morning.
it's just the morning.
It's because the shit is hot.
Like, you ever hear, like, a lot of professional traders say they won't trade the first half hour of the day?
Yes.
And that's such bullshit.
Stupid.
They are the stupidest motherfuckers I know. I seen like if you go on anywhere on the internet to anybody, they say I won't touch the first 30 minutes a day, is that's where like all the random spikes happen. It's like those random spikes are where you make the money though.
True.
And
True.
it's like why wouldn't you touch that? Like if you can get in and out, you should.
True, but at the end of the day, it all comes back in my bed. Are you finished?
No, I got
You sure you finished?
No, you should go, man. I don't want you having that little man complex again. Try to rip my eyebrows off. You ever notice like this guy, like he's got a beard but no mustache. He has such a complex complex about being an Indian.
I
that
just
he
shaved
cuts
it
his
off.
beard
I shaved
and
it off.
He shaved his mustache off. Like the guy has a reverse beard going with no mustache. He's got a reverse beard. Like he's grown up so shamed, like living in Boston, the streets of Boston, and all those Irish Catholics just ripping on him.
Alright, so clearly,
shaved his mustache.
Clearly, I have the wrong idea of Detroit, and you have the wrong idea of Boston. And we're going to just leave it at that. So, for my answer as to what is the biggest challenge of a trader, and you heard half of it from Kunal. Notice what he said and everything that came out of his mouth had nothing to do with in trading mechanics. Nothing. Absolutely nothing to do with mechanics. Once you learn mechanics and how the shit moves, it's a cakewalk. You know how to make money. The problem is, do you know how to not lose money? And that's one of the biggest issues that every trader has. And for me personally, it is always, what's that?
Zen Master.
Zen Master. Zen Master, I am so far from the Zen Master.
You got a North Korean partner.
This motherfucker.
Yo, I
even call him
This
Chinese.
guy's North Korean.
It doesn't matter if you're Chinese, you're still fucked in the head.
Oh yeah, very.
This guy's North Korean, man.
So
he's sleeper cell all over.
like
The
that,
whole
like
leg
that
is-
Bengali guy, like that Bengali
This guy's
guy.
sleeper cell.
All right, so it's all about psychology. Once you understand how the market works, and once you're confident in your own particular strategy, that's it. That's it. That's all you need to know. You can make money in this market. There's nothing stopping you except yourself. And that is the biggest challenge of a trader, any trader. You talk to any trader, whether they're hedge fund material and they work for JPM or they work for Goldman Sachs. You talk to any one of these guys, they will tell you the same thing. Mechanics is mechanics. You can learn mechanics in a fucking month. And all of a sudden have a new strategy to tackle and all of that kind of stuff. You can trade my strategy, you can trade his strategy. It doesn't fucking matter. It does not matter. If it fits your personality, if it works for you, that's it. The psychology is the only thing that's gonna hold you back. All the dumb things that you say to yourself, oh, I need to make this back. Shit, I lost 20,000. I gotta make 20,000 back. I gotta do this fucking Apple, this Google, blah blah blah. That is all emotions. That's all it is. It's all emotions, and it's all psychology.
We've got a guy asking real quick, just in general, what did you do with Google today, and how did that turn out?
Great question. Great question. So
I can actually, let me give the rundown how this works.
you don't know shit.
So Google drops like a rock,
I would love to hear this.
and this guy
There's no
buys
way.
1,000 shares at 685, and he nails it. And as he's buying and calling it out, I'm sitting next to him. I buy 25 shares.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. You didn't tell me.
I'm Google at 685. So then he sells it at like 691 or something. He takes 5,000. I sell like 688, takes $60, and I'm like,
You see that? You see that? That's it. My strategy is the shit, right?
I was so embarrassed because he's like, yeah, got that. What's up? And he's all Boston, like gangster, like what? Irish Catholic for life. And he's all excited. And I'm like, damn man, he made $6,000 in like 30 seconds, and I made $50.
But it's the strategy. Again, it's the strategy. It doesn't matter what you make. It doesn't matter if you make $50. It doesn't matter if you make $6,000. You want to talk about at the end of the day? I was up $20,000 today, and I gave it all back. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It does not matter how much money you make, how much money you could make, how much money you lose, blah, 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 all that kind of shit. It does not matter. The only thing that matters is your psychology and what you're reading on the tape or however you trade. Are you making good decisions? Are you making shitty decisions? That's it. That's it. That is it.
All right, guys, so everybody seems to be getting a little bit wasted here, and obviously the camera's going out of focus and getting wasted too. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, Kunal, and thank
Man,
you,
we're just
Sang
getting
Lucci.
started.
Let's, thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Any
guys.
last words?
Thank you. Thank you. We are going out and we're going to do some dumb shit tonight.
Hit us up. Hit us up.
If anybody lives in New York, hit me up.
If anybody lives in New York, hit us
Hit
up.
us
We're going
up.
out. We're going out. We're
If
going
you
out.
want to make money and live in a pad like Lucci, like this noise and blur, you can give us a holler, because this is for real, all right? And we've got the swivel TV and Tim from Bulls on Wall Street. There we go. All right.